to see who has a heart.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
This is your fight. Now go out there and take it.
I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational. But that just wouldn't be our style. Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, live from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill on Highway 72 East in Athens, just off I-65. Don't go away. Applebee's Tailgate Talk is next. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens, Highway 72 West, just off I-65. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. One of your favorite teams is sure to be playing on the big screen, too. See you tomorrow at Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 Athens, just off I-65. Daily and Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daily and Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daily and Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
When it comes to the Wi-Fi in your home, are you in control? Manage your Wi-Fi with the ATC Control app. ATC can help you get the best Wi-Fi experience. Prioritize your laptop while you work from home, or prioritize your streaming devices to enjoy your favorite shows. Ready for a better Wi-Fi experience? Visit ATC's website at www.ardmore.net to download the free ATC Control app today. Certain equipment and or services may be required. ATC is an equal opportunity employer and provider.
When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action Sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clements sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net.
Hey, this is Charles Morrison, varsity baseball coach with Lindsay Lane Christian Academy, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Good Saturday morning, and welcome to what's it called?
Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Tailgate Talk. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080. I'm Todd, the talented Tomerlin, alongside producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. And
just read the banner over there.
Yeah, well, there's a glare on it.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I don't know where all that rain didn't come in, and all of them said it was coming in. But,
I kept looking for it.
They certainly missed that forecast, which they're human, so I guess they're entitled. But anyway, we got a wonderful lineup, as always. Our SEC guru, AP Steadham, Jaycie Taylor, the new Ardmore volleyball girls coach, Chris Harris, Trash Pandas broadcast media relations director, Bart Stephenson, Calhoun flag football coach and their softball coach as well, Bryant Wales, the new Ardmore girls basketball coach, and Ron Rikard, the new Clements boys coach. So wonderful lineup, a lot of changes obviously in the county with new coaches popping up here or there, Tim. So that's always a good thing, I guess, at times, just to get a new, fresh look at different sports and what these new coaches bring.
And I tried to get even another new coach on today, but he had something going on. Jimmy Don Nave is coaching football out at Lindsay Lane.
Wow, good for them. I did not hear that.
So he,
wow.
I think there's still going to be JV this upcoming season, and then maybe when they do the classification adjustment or whatever, I think maybe they'll go to varsity.
And maybe that's a question for him, but isn't there like a 1 year, like when they initially go to varsity, they're not. You can't make the playoffs that first year, right?
I don't know.
I don't think you qualify. I think there's like I don't know why I think that. We'll have to ask somebody sometime, but I think there's a delay there for some reason.
And I went to the ABS basketball banquet, boys basketball banquet last night, and found out that one of their girls' assistant coaches is taking over the head coaching job. Joe Carver's going to be their new varsity girls basketball coach. Corey McElgay is stepping down. His son is a senior this year.
Oh, okay. So. Yeah, I understand that. Well, congratulations. Yeah, new coaches all around then, for sure, especially in the world of basketball. Not much going on this week. I guess I'm just going to turn it over to you since there's not that many scores or more, but let's go ahead and do that. So,
scores and more.
All right. As far as the scores go, bad news for the Athens High softball team. Good news and then bad news. So the good news was that they beat Pell City 6-5 yesterday in their rematch. They had a close game the first time around, and then fell to Saraland in their rematch 6-1. So they were eliminated. Saraland went on to play Helena in the finals, and Helena was the state champion. So that's the way the softball ended up in the state. And as far as baseball, 7A baseball, James Clements had lost to Tuscumbia County in their first round, and Tuscumbia County ended up winning their first state title yesterday too. So had a spring football game last night. Don't know the score, but East Limestone came out on top of Tanner at Tanner. Don't know really anything about Ardmore and West Morgan's game. Athens and James Clements were supposed to have played last night, but that got canceled for some reason or another. Did they have graduation last night?
You know what? Now that you say that, I believe they did. Yeah,
okay.
I believe they did.
Because we were talking about the other day with the Athens girls, if they had advanced to the
they'd have missed it.
To the finals, they'd have missed their graduation.
Yeah. And I think that happened to them once before. The year they won it, matter of fact, a few years back. I think it fell on their graduation day, if I'm not mistaken, and they had to. Some of the girls had to miss.
You'd think somebody would look at stuff like that.
You would think, but as a player, I wouldn't care. I mean, I don't. Everybody's different, right? But I wouldn't care. I'd rather play softball or baseball or whatever it might be than sit in a hot gym and wait on my classmates and myself to walk up there and get my diploma.
I can remember when I was at ABS, I was in the chorus there, and we had a PTF program. Used to. Well, they don't have those anymore, but they'd have a PTF program every month, and it was kind of tradition that the chorus would sing at the first one and the last one. Well, the last one was scheduled the weekend of the state track meet, and there were two of us that were in the state track meet.
Of course, you're setting a state championship record. You're busy.
So anyway, the chorus director was telling us, okay, we've got a program this Friday, and we were like,
a little tied up.
We're going to be in the state track meet, and he's like, we're going to have to get that state track meet changed.
Like, it was just going to will its power.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
but when you go to a smaller school like that, when I went to East Limestone, we were a smaller school. I mean, you got to everybody's sharing in something, whether it's sports or other extracurricular activities. There's only so many. You have to have multiple people doing multiple things to be able to support all these different things.
Yeah.
So
the PTF program got changed.
I would think so.
Needless to say. Congratulations to James Clements, Scott Seja, who signed with Huntington College Baseball yesterday, I believe it was. Cody Hodges also signed with Calhoun Baseball at the same time.
The Hunting's in Montgomery, is that right?
Yes. And next week, we will be talking with, you remember George Bisker?
I do.
He's a former NFL defensive tackle and author of the book Facing Giants, My 38-Year Battle. So he got in touch with me, actually, 2 or 3 weeks ago and asked if he could come on, or was telling me about the book. And I don't remember if he asked if he could come on, but he was just telling me about it. And I said, well, hey, can we get you on? I said, it's been, I think it was 2000.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I want to say 13, but that sounds a little bit too long ago. But he said, yeah, it has been a while. Because, I mean, I remember that first interview we had with him when he just dropped off the call, and we were like, what is going on here? And I think we got him on the next week and got to finish up our conversation. So he's, he goes around doing speaking and all this stuff about, the CTE and the brain injuries and all that stuff. So I think he sued the 49ers.
Oh, yeah?
For something.
Like kind of covering it up, probably. Like, you know what I mean? Like having them in, because back then, you just had to smell and salt and throw you back in the game.
Yeah.
And the whole time you've got brain injuries going on.
Yeah.
And you know what? Speaking of CTE, when's the last time you heard anybody talk about CTE in the NFL? It's like it's gone, just falling off as a topic or a concern.
I mean, I guess that's behind the way they do the kickoffs now.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
So, which is still kind of
I don't like it.
Weird.
I want to see a big collision myself. I'm not the one out there getting pounded, so.
Yeah. And I was looking at George's website, and the first concussion he had, he was 13 years old. When he had his first one. I think that might have been the worst one he ever had.
So, yeah. And then once you get that one, I've always been told they're more susceptible to get them. I've had 4.
Oh, really?
At least diagnosed 4. I probably had a couple more that they called dingers back in the day, right? But, but like one time I got tackled and it was a night game. I intercepted a pass, got tackled, and I looked up, and it was as sunny and as it is outside right now. But it was 8 o'clock at night.
Oh.
It just messed me up there for a little bit. And I was on the opposite side of the field, and it took me a little bit to get back to my sideline.
I think I had one when I was in, I don't remember if it was junior high or maybe 10th grade or something, in basketball practice. You'd sprint to one end of the court and then come back backwards. Well, so that's what we were doing. I was coming back. I had just crossed the baseline we were coming back to, and my feet got tangled up.
You hit the wall?
And I fell. Well, no, I didn't hit the wall. I hit the floor. I fell backwards, and that's not what it was. The guy coming behind me fell on top of me and knocked my head into the floor. So I got up, and I do remember kind of walking around in a darkness and hearing people.
That's weird, isn't it?
People kind of talking.
I had 2 my 9th grade year, and it was just weird.
Yeah, and I heard that. When I first hit, I heard the coach say, "Get up," and then the guy comes falling onto me, and then I remember hearing the coach say, "I told you to get up."
All right, well,
and I was
you didn't have much time to move. Yeah.
No, I didn't. So, but he said, "Well, walk it off," and so I walked it off, and the fog finally left. So, years later, I thought, I probably had a concussion then.
Absolutely, probably did. Yeah, anytime you wake up and it's a little foggy, you probably got at least a semi-concussion, if not full-blown.
Yeah, because, it was on the back of my head.
Yep.
But there's your scores and more, brought to you by P4 Physical Therapy, delivering world-class outpatient care with a purpose. Visit them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
All right. We're going to take us a quick break. When we come back, we will have our SEC guru that joins us weekly, AP Steadham, and you're listening to, I believe it's called Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080.
Hear Applebee's Tailgate Talk on your Alexa device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus, and hear it in crystal clear quality. Applebee's Tailgate Talk will be right back. P4 Therapy is an outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
First National Bank is a name everyone in the community recognizes. We see it in our schools, in our parks, and in our homes. First National Bank is proud to help make our community great. I am First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Brooklyn Albritton from Clements High School, and I love to help represent First National Bank in my community. First National Bank, making communities great, member FDIC.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Hello, I'm Andrew Smith, head baseball coach at Ardmore High School. And you listen to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
I'm all about that action. 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 I said I'm all about that action.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Todd, the bod, the talent, Tomberlin, alongside producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. Now joined by us with our wonderful weekly guest, our SEC guru and the man that knows it all, AP Steadham. Good morning, AP. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning. How are y'all up in Athens, Alabama today?
Man, we are doing all right. Beautiful day. Are you at home? Are you at home this weekend, or you said you were in Montgomery?
Well, I was in Montgomery. We were at the Jimmy Rain charity golf event.
Nice.
In Montgomery, so we're still here.
Okay, good for you.
We'll head back to L.A. tomorrow.
So they had their dinner last night, correct?
Thursday night. We had a dinner. I think there was about 1,000 people or so.
Wow. And
Bruce Pearl was the main speaker.
Yeah, I saw that.
They could check out the interview we did with Bruce on our YouTube channel, AP As We See It. We interviewed Jimmy Rain. Then we did 2 interviews. Then we also interviewed Hugh Freeze, the Auburn football coach. So they could check those interviews on our YouTube channel for sure.
Too good yet. So
now, weren't you you were doing something with beach volleyball here a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I sure was. Yeah, that was fun. We saw a historic moment because USC and UCLA normally win the championship, but they were upset by Loyola Marymount.
Wow.
Who beat them in one day, Saturday, back to back, and then on Sunday they faced TCU. So TCU was the eventual national championship. That's the first time winner. So that was exciting to watch, and the weather cooperated, and everybody had fun, and that's a well-run event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it on television. It looks like, they make a big deal out of it, which it is. I mean, those athletes work hard, and
my God.
That's a tough, man. When you're in there in that sand and it's, it's not, it's like moving on the court, it's tough.
Oh no, it's very different. And, they're diving into the sand. Then they have to quickly jump up and be ready to elevate and spike the ball.
Yeah.
Crazy. They're great athletes, tremendous athletes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was thinking it was a show that Todd would know because we thought he would be envious.
I would probably like to definitely attend that with you.
It was great.
That's probably better than the golf tournament today. At least view-wise.
So, we had a couple photographers there, so all the photos there. Matter of fact, I have to put up the winning shot. I've been just so busy, but one of my photographers, Joseph, had put up had the winning shot, actually. Spike over the net.
Beach volleyball, did they play to 21 and it's 2 out of 3 or what?
Yeah. The last game they played, I think it's 15, but it is to 21, there's 5 teams of 2. So you're facing the other 5 teams of 2.
Okay.
And you're trying to win that 3. You're trying to win the 3 out of the 2 in advance. Yeah.
That's
so
different. Okay.
yeah, it's a little bit different. So, but it was fun though, and like I said, it's right on the beach. I mean, the beach is right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good, great view.
Yeah.
Man, you got to be athletic if you only got 2 people on your team.
Oh yeah, it's a big area to cover, man.
And trying to move around in sand, which is not the easiest thing to do.
No, and they're very creative on their shots. They call the play behind their back.
Yeah.
When the setter is preparing to hit the volleyball, behind their back, the person in front is putting up the fingers to call the play.
Yeah, it's a well organized sport, and it's just fun to watch. I mean, even the dudes, like, man, you wouldn't think you'd be able to jump up, which I know a lot of those, the girls and the guys are real tall, but still jumping up out of the sand like that. But man, they'll drill that ball. Yeah. I mean, they'll drill.
Oh yeah. Oh, they spike it. They're unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, I wonder, is the net the same height in beach volleyball as it is regular volleyball?
That's a good question. I'm not positive.
It looks like it. I mean, just visually when you're eyeballing it, I mean, it's relatively close. It's not lower. I know that.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, well, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it's definitely not lower. No.
Yeah, it's got to be relatively the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure, but I enjoyed it. I will say that. And we saw history being paid, so that was cool as well.
So, was there a big turnout for the golf tournament, for your range golf tournament?
Big turnout for that. They bring in about, let's say, and I don't know if I put that photo up, the photo of all the people that they bring in, football players and coaches and athletes from other sports as well, basketball. And so, it's quite a collection of people that attend this every year consistently.
That's awesome.
I talked to R.C. Slocum, the Texas coach, and Hugh Durham, the former coach at Georgia and Florida State.
Well, that is a good turnout.
You see Bo Jackson's here, and there's some Johnny Davis, Johnny's from Montgomery. So Joe Cribbs and Ronnie Brown, and Jason Campbell, and Saran Stacy.
That's awesome.
Kevin Jackson, some of the people that we ran into. Yes, so it's a great event. They went from 1 scholarship to now, 25 years ago, to 70.
That is amazing. 70. Good for them.
Yeah, 70. So,
well, one thing they might need to start using some of that money for, I saw a story, I don't know if either one of y'all saw it this week, was the spending on recruiting. Did you say how much did each college and SEC spend on recruitment this year? AP?
Well, I know that Texas was trying to get ahead of the settlement to spend it in the 30 to 40 million range. I mean, that's one number I saw. Did you see anybody higher than them at all?
No. Well, so I'm talking about just the expense that they spend.
Just the expense of recruit. I see the expense of it. Yeah, what was the highest that you saw?
So Tennessee was 5.4, I believe, and Alabama was second at 5.3. Last year they spent 2.9. So an increase from 2.9 to 5.3 million just in expenses.
Wow,
and Auburn was 12th.
Jet flight.
Auburn was 12th.
Auburn was 12th. Was it? Yeah. Well, my thing is this: it's a function of if you spend the most, are you getting the best?
Yeah, exactly.
That's always the question, right?
That's the question. If you're spending that kind of money, you better be getting the best of the best.
Am I getting the best? Am I selecting the right people? Yeah. So it's all a function. If you spend the right amount of money and get the best talent, worth it. If you're spending the top and you're ending up in the middle of the pack every year, something's wrong in your process. You have to evaluate your process.
Yeah. Well, and so Vanderbilt didn't have to report because they're not public school; they're private. So, but the lowest one on the list was Mississippi State, and they only spent like $790,000. They were the only school to spend less than $1 million.
Well, there are a lot of money spent locally. They're getting players from Mississippi and probably the JUCO route. Maybe they go to Kansas, Mississippi.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Maybe it's more on the like JUCO stuff and not so much more recruiting.
And they're getting the transfers too, right?
Yeah.
So not as much transfer to the transfers because it's a short. It's not a slow dance.
No, by any means, right? Especially depending on how much the athlete wants to play the game, for lack of a better word.
Right,
draw it out.
Yeah, but like I said, you have to evaluate. Okay, we spent this much on the budget. Did we we successful?
Yes,
with
you're recouping that cash back with wins.
Yeah, because that $5 million, they could take care of that in about one home game, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One home game.
I just thought that was. And then Georgia actually went backwards a little bit. They ended up a third, but they spent a little bit less this year than they did the previous year. So that was kind of interesting. Right.
But and if you look at it as a line item, where does that rank? Our recruiting budget, where does that rank?
That's a good
Coaches
point.
is higher than that. What else is higher? I don't know. But on the line item budget, is that one of our top items or no?
I mean, you would hope so. I mean, if you want to get the players in there to win games, it'd be towards the top at least. I mean, you got to have facilities, good staff, obviously.
Right.
And then, of course, now you got to have that money to pay the players. So.
That's a whole nother issue. Yeah, a whole nother issue. And then, one thing I wanted to bring up, we had a discussion on the show this week about presidential commission, and I found it peculiar, let's say, at the very least, that Nick Saban was baffled about his being named to the presidential commission. Did you get that? Did you get that feeling that he didn't want to be on a presidential commission?
I mean,
and
he
he
wasn't
wasn't
fool
really
with
sure?
it. Yeah, but I mean,
and then a billionaire from Texas Tech, and then the people that I spoke to with some people, and they have no knowledge of this commission.
Well, and I think that's probably why he wasn't so interested. It needs to be football people. Not business people per se.
Yeah, I think this is strictly a headline. Strictly a headline.
There won't be anything come about it. I don't think.
I don't believe so. Because they were looking for the splash, and that was the news of the day, presidential commission. But like I said, the people that I spoke to at various entities, they have no knowledge.
Wow. Well, it didn't make much of a splash, did it?
No, not in their pool anyway. Not in their pool.
Well, AP, buddy, we're going to let you get back to what's going on. Please tell everybody where we can find you and what you got going on.
Yeah, thank you very much. Our YouTube channels at AP As We See It and at AP Steadham and all our social media platforms. We put the links there, and you check your local radio stations. We have our show. They played at various times on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we had Zach Barnett from Football Scoop was our guest last week, and so he's always interested and knowledgeable. So check that out. And we're really thankful for having us on the show.
All right, buddy. We always appreciate your time, man. You're a wonderful dude. Safe travels going back home, and we will talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much now. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, man. That was AP Steadham, our SEC guru. When we come back, we'll be joined by the new Ardmore volleyball coach, Jaycie Taylor. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080.
Congratulations to Peyton Pennington of Ardmore, our Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week, and winner of a gift card from the Athens Applebee's and a Tailgate Talk t-shirt from that shirt printing place. We'll be back with more Applebee's Tailgate Talk after this. If your place on the water needs some attention, call BP Riverworks. Boathouses, docks, seawalls, and repairs. Call Barron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks. Licensed and insured, 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens, Highway 72 West, just off I-65. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. One of your favorite teams is sure to be playing on the big screen, too. See you tomorrow at Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 Athens, just off I-65. Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Wreakin' Havoc Podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at wreakinhavoc.com.
Hey, this is former Tennessee and NFL punter Craig Colquitt, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC the Big 1080. Todd, the Talent Tomlin, alongside producer extraordinaire. And we want to welcome the new ladies Ardmore volleyball coach, Jaycie Taylor. Coach, congratulations, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, we were talking a little bit off air. I asked you if you grew up here, and you did not. You're an Arkansas lady. I was going to say girl, but I always say lady. Husband is from here, though. Graduated from Ardmore, right? So
he did.
That's awesome that, that at least, like I said, he's kind of back home. So you also mentioned you just had tryouts. So let's just pick up from there. You had tryouts. Talk to us about what did you see and how, are you excited about what you saw?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we had tryouts the past 2 days, high school tryouts, and they were awesome. I told them yesterday when we left out of there, I was like, you made it hard on us because y'all came out, and they've got some great female athletes at Ardmore. They do, and we're super excited to get started. We're super excited to start this journey with them, and it's gonna be a great year. I can feel it. Yeah.
Now, how many will you carry on the team?
We got 22.
Wow.
22.
Okay.
And that's for varsity and JV both.
JV, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome because that gives you plenty of people to practice, right? And rotate them in and out and up and down and anything in between. And it gives them all the opportunity to fight for a position.
That's right.
And that, obviously you want to beat your competition, but individually, you want to work hard and earn that spot. So you sound like you're in a pretty good spot with that.
We are. And, of course, development, too, given the opportunity to see some playing time and develop for that higher level to make that varsity spot. So,
now, I will say, and I've said this on here before, and it has nothing to do with the uniforms or looks, but there's been a lot of times on a Sunday afternoon I'm flipping channels, right? I'm watching the NFL football, and then you flip over the ACC network, whatever, maybe ESPN channel, and there's college women's volleyball on.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, you've watched, 2 sets or, the whole entire thing because just like with women's tennis, I enjoy watching more than the men's. I enjoy watching the women because the volleys are longer a little bit. It's not just a serve and a spike. And it just seems like more of the strategy comes into play.
That's right.
And I don't know. It's just fun to watch.
It is.
And now, did you play? I mean, obviously you played in high school. Did you play collegiately?
Yes, sir. I went to Freed-Hardeman University.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yes, sir. I played all 4 years there.
Wow, good for you. So you've got that college experience, so you know what that brings, and then that's just going to help these young ladies as well because you've lived it and you can share those experiences with them. Because, being able to play at that level, any level beyond high school, whether it's junior college or whatever, is awesome. But, Freed-Hardeman's a big deal. So, did y'all have much success? Or?
We did. Now, we were in at that time, their conference was pretty tough. Usually the top 2 teams, they went to the national championship and they played each other in our conference.
Wow, that is tough.
So, we would end up right there, right behind them, 3-4 range. But, we had some good girls there. We actually had some local girls from around here that had went there as well. So, but yeah, we had some success, and I enjoyed my time there a lot.
I bet. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know enough about the game to ask too many deep questions, but so from a strategy type standpoint or whatever, like what do you like to do on the court? And I know that depends on with the athletes that you have available if they can do what it is you like. But do you feel comfortable with the girls you've got versus what you like to do?
Of course, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it like you said, it depends on the personnel, right? But I think that my play style is I want to play fast, and even in when we don't have maybe the height that maybe other teams, we want to play up to that level. We want to play like we got 6-footers all across the front. You know, we want to play fast. We want to be strong. We want to keep the momentum on our side because you're right, it's a fun game, but it's a fast game, and it can change quickly. So that's the goal, is to run a high-tempo offense where we can speed up the game to our level and control that momentum.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Now, y'all play 2 out of 3, right? When y'all are playing matches, it's 2 out of 3? Okay. Do you know who's in your area, if you look?
I've looked a little bit.
I should have looked, I'm sorry.
We have Brewer, East Limestone, and I'm going to forget some, right? We got Brewer, East Limestone.
We'll just look it up.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I should.
You put me on the spot over here.
No. Well, I mean, you hadn't had much time to be doing all that.
We have a 5-team area.
Oh, wow. So that makes it a little bit tougher, no doubt.
Would you play? Let's see. Would it be Columbia? Would that be? Are they 6A or 5A? I can't remember.
I think they're still
6A.
Are they 6A?
Are they
I think
6A?
they're 6A, yeah.
I don't know if they got a volleyball team.
Or maybe it's May Jemison. I don't. Maybe they're 6A too.
We're fixing to find out. Right?
Priceville's another one of them.
Okay.
So it sounds like a pretty tough.
It is tough. Yeah.
At least it doesn't sound like one where you're going to have to be traveling all over the place like in some of these crazy areas.
No.
Which is insane. I don't know why they do it the way they do it, but.
When you were talking about playing fast, how do you speed up the game? It not take so long to serve, or I mean.
Well, so it's really about, it starts with the pass, right? So we want to keep our passes lower, quicker. Quicker to the setter, and then distribute the ball quicker. So it's just speeding it up, like limiting that time. You know, sometimes when you see volleyball, especially if you look, you know, maybe at the lower level, you're going to see these high rainbow passes, or you're going to see these high sets out to the outside. So the goal is to speed everything up from the pass all the way to the set, and then the attack.
Okay. Because my granddaughter has started playing volleyball. Well, she started playing last year, and so she's like 11. So yeah, you see a lot of those really high. I mean, hitting the ceiling type height, and even those, I don't know. In high school, you got such high gym. I don't know if it ever hits the ceiling in high school, but
they have that scoreboard.
Oh yeah,
right in the middle. Does that come into play at all?
If we do what we're supposed to do, it won't.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
And see, I get confused because sometimes it'll hit the ceiling, but they keep playing. So I'm like, does it have to go? I don't know if it has to go if it goes over the net after it hits or comes back or
so
what.
So the rule is if say we pass a ball and it stays on our side, we can go ahead and play it again.
Okay.
But if we pass the ball and it hits the ceiling, goes on the other side, then it's dead ball. It's their point. Okay. Yeah, it's considered out. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be out anyway.
Maybe you just replay the point.
No. We would lose the point. Yes,
wow.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, according to Max Preps, and this is Max Prep, so can't necessarily. They're just showing a 3-team: Ardmore, East, and Whitesboro Christian.
Oh, Westminster. That's
Westminster.
Right. Yep.
Westminster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, obviously, there's a couple more prizeful you mentioned in Brewer, right?
And Brewer.
So there we go.
Yep.
So they I'm sitting here trying to think now. So all right. So you said you don't have a lot of height. How does that affect you on defense? Because obviously you're not doing a lot of blocking, right?
Right.
When you're facing a team that does have a lot of height, and they're looking across the net, going, yeah, they're a lot shorter than we are. Are they more apt to go ahead and try to spike everything, or do they try to dink you a little bit more? Or?
Well, they're going to try, right? Like you said, they're going to try, but the goal is to be explosive. So we're still going to put a block up. We're still going to be strong up there, but we're going to make sure we're where we're supposed to be defensively as well. So ready for it to come off the block, ready to move, be quicker on defense, things like that.
Yeah.
If you're closer to the floor, you can hit those close shots.
You would think, but that ball's coming at you pretty daggum fast. That's for sure. And that's another thing about that sport. I don't care. There's not enough pads you can wear to not keep that floor from eating you up, you know?
You get used to it, though.
Yeah.
You get used to it.
After a few bumps and bruises, it's just kind of...
It is what it is,
get used to the wear and tear. Did you have any particular, and you don't have to mention them if you don't want to because it's early, but did you have any particular young ladies that stood out? Like, you know, you're looking more to them to be not just maybe even leaders, but, you know, help you whether it's on the offensive or defensive side?
Yeah, well, we got 2 seniors. We got Peyton Shelton and Natasha Lopez. We're looking to them to be leaders and vocal on the floor. But then we got Madeline Woods, our setter. She's very, very strong. She's got a little height for a setter, and I love a tall setter. We're looking for her to also hit as well. And then Alyssa Lee on the outside. Okay. So.
But how long have you been there, as the coach?
I just got board approved last week.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Straight out of the gate.
Yep. Last Tuesday. Yep.
So your head's still spinning.
A little bit, last Tuesday I got board approved. We had to meet the coach, and then tryouts Thursday and Friday.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what you teaching in the classroom? If so, what?
So I'm science. I don't know exactly what I'll be teaching yet, but I'll be teaching science, yeah.
So you'll have a full plate, especially when school starts. And like now, what are y'all able to do during the summer as far as like camps and things like that? Can y'all do
we can,
camps?
Yeah. There's we can do some camps. We'll have a kids camp. I don't have the exact date for that as well. And then we'll do maybe have a college team come out and do a camp, and then we'll do some play dates and be in the weight room a lot. I'm excited about the weight room. I'm excited to do some skill work with that, and then get ready for the season to start in August.
It'll be here before you know it.
It will. It
will.
Goes by fast for sure.
Yeah. Are y'all limited to the amount of play dates y'all can have in the summer, or is it pretty much you just go do what you can do?
Yeah, pretty much just do what you can do. You want to even it out. You want to get a little bit of play time, but you also don't want to take away too much from getting everything ready for the season as well. So,
what? And this is, I guess, maybe kind of a selfish question here. I mentioned my granddaughter playing. What would you tell up and coming players like that to kind of concentrate on? Now she's not to where she can do the. She still does the underhand serve, but. What would you tell them to kind of maybe concentrate on more than?
Keep working hard. I think before we even talk about skills, just keep perfecting your game. Volleyball is one of the few sports that you can't just go out there and pick up, right? There's a lot of fundamentals that go into it and form that's different than a lot of other sports. So keep working hard. Go outside. Grab your volleyball. You got a brick wall. Hit the volley.
I was gonna say,
as many touches as you can get, the better off that you'll be.
Yeah.
And then again, don't get discouraged. There's some low moments in volleyball, and it will be. It's never going to go away, whatever level you're at, right?
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, in with any sport, it can happen. I don't care what, but man, volleyball seems to be one of those sports where you can be down 6. And all of a sudden, you're up 4.
That's right.
In just a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And it's just, and that momentum changes so fast. And it's just, man, it is. It's fun to watch. It's, I don't know. I just like the pace of the game. And like I said, I prefer watching the ladies just because of the volleys a little bit longer and stuff like that. And you can see more to the strategy and all that. But what do you prefer? Obviously, just somebody can get it over the net, but do you like the jump serves, or?
Yeah, we're always.
Is that what y'all teach?
That's right. We're always trying to teach that higher level, right? We want to run, quicks. We want to run high, tempo ball and be aggressive. So jump serves, quick sets. Moving the ball, distributing the ball, those are all things that, are working our way towards, that goal of higher level ball. So. Yeah.
Well, you're giving them an opportunity to advance in their career as well, or if they want to, continue to play beyond high school. So, and it just makes it harder on the competition once you can reach that level of of success. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Now, are you doing just varsity or varsity and JV or?
So I'll be the head coach of varsity. I'll oversee the program, but be head coach of varsity.
Okay.
We can't announce the JV coach yet.
Yeah.
It's under wraps. We'll get to that next week.
Okay.
We got to make sure it's improved. So, and what about middle school?
Middle school, we have Coach Ashton Thompson coming back to coach middle school. We have those tryouts Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So we're
Which
getting.
you'll be involved in?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
Is that going to be your plan? Like, hey, this is what we're doing at varsity, this is what we're doing at JV, and this is what we're going to do at middle school.
That's right.
So that way,
That's
by the time
right.
they get up there, they know.
They know. Yep.
Yeah,
You want to
that's
teach
fair.
them.
Yeah.
You want to teach them early on your values, your culture. We can always work on skill, but those are the hardest to perfect, right? With
Yeah.
any program. So we want to teach them young, and so by the time they're a senior on varsity, they're ready to go.
Yeah, right out of the gate. And you mentioned the weight room, which obviously is important. Obviously leg press, squats, things like that.
Yeah.
What are some of the weight room exercises that the players have to do? Because obviously they got to be able to not just jump, but jump quickly.
Yep.
And
that's
off
right.
both feet. If you're up to block.
Yeah.
What are some of the exercises that y'all use to focus?
Well, the goal, and my focus in the weight room is training the athlete first, right? With Ardmore, we know we have a lot of multi-sport athletes, so we don't want to get too zeroed in on volleyball specifics, but we want to be explosive. We want to be strong and quick. So power clings, squats. Even a lot of volleyball players, they don't want to train arms, right? But that's part of it, right? So chest, bench press, things like that. And then, of course, you got to be agile. So a lot of agility drills. We're looking at, ladders, sprints, things like that. So, yeah.
Just from how you're talking, I'm sure your practices are a lot of fun.
Right? Oh, man.
But that's where you get better.
That's right.
If you're not going to do it in practice, you can't do it in the game.
Well, and that's the goal. Your practices, the weight room should be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Your practices should be hard. So when you step out on the floor on, game night,
that should be the easy
it's
part.
Easy. It's
Yeah.
easy.
That should be
it's
the
so
easy
easy.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to think about anything other than just the strategy of the game.
That's right.
You don't have to think about your body failing you because you're ready and prepared. So, well, Jaycie, congratulations on the job. Coach Taylor, excuse me. We're excited for you, and we'll bring definitely back on when season starts, and we wish y'all a lot of luck.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, we're going to take us a quick break. We're just joined by Jaycie Taylor, the new Ardmore volleyball coach. And when we come back, I believe we'll probably have Chris Harris of the Trash Pandas, the broadcast and media relations guy. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080.
Hear Applebee's Tailgate Talk anywhere you go by downloading the PAS Plus app for your Android or iPhone. We'll be back with more after this. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right.
For screen printing, sign printing, banners, logo design, and more, look no further than That Shirt Printing Place. Located at 709 North Jefferson Street in Athens. Call 256-444-1827. That Shirt Printing Place. Visit them online at thatshirtprintingplacellc.com. Look for them on Facebook too. That Shirt Printing Place. 256-444-1927. That Shirt Printing Place.
The Bama Zach Memorial Scholarship has been set up to honor the legacy of Bama Zach Green, a huge fan of the Crimson Tide, along with Limestone County sports. The scholarship will go each year to a male and female athlete from Limestone County. Checks should be made out to Bama Zach Memorial Scholarship and can be sent in care of Garth Garris, 13833 Pinnacle Drive, Athens, Alabama, 35613. Donations can also be made in person at First State Bank of the South at 1319 Highway 72 East in Athens. Thank you for showing your support for local athletes by giving to the Bama Zach Memorial Scholarship. Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with the Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC.
Hi, this is Athens girls basketball coach Tiffany Tucker, and you are listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Take out the papers and the trash.
Let me give you some trash talk.
Hey, you want to talk some trash?
Trash?
Yeah, trash. Trash. Won't pick it up. Take them like no way. Girl, why not take out the trash?
You don't know how to trash talk, do you?
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080. Todd, the Talent Tomlin, alongside producer extraordinary. Now joining us from the Trash Pandas, Chris Harris, broadcaster and media relations director. Chris, how you doing this morning, buddy?
Hey, good guys. How are y'all?
We're doing all right, man. For those that may not have listened to last week's show, Chris was kind enough to go and get us and present us the World Series ring that he obtained when he was with the Atlanta Braves. And I don't know if we did or not, but Tim, we probably need to put some pictures of that up there on the Applebee's Tailgate Talk page, show everybody how big that stinking ring was, man. So
I can't even remember if I took a picture. I think I did.
I got one.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, we appreciated that, and we appreciated you hosting us and having us, man. It was a great day. So thank you.
Yeah, glad you guys could come out.
Yeah. So I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even know how the week went in Trash Pandas world.
It's okay. It's not been a bad week. We've been in Pensacola since Tuesday and gone 2-2 so far. Had a nice win on Wednesday, won 9-0. Lost a tough one on Thursday night. Had a 4-0 lead. Pensacola just came back and beat us 7-5. But then last night had a good night again. It was a bullpen day. George Clausen got hit in the head by a line drive last Sunday. Thankfully, he's okay, but just in concussion protocol. But last night we had a kind of a bullpen day where we had 6 guys combined. They only allowed 2 runs and won 4-2. So 2-2 going to the weekend in Pensacola, and you're seeing a lot of positive things this week.
Yep, and 2 more games in the series.
That's right. This is the first leg of a 2-week road trip. So we're in Pensacola through Sunday. Then we'll actually come back to Madison for Sunday night and Monday, and then we'll head to Chattanooga for next week.
Wow. It's a lot of mileage on the road there in a short amount of time.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's the name of the game.
I'm sure the weather down there is beautiful, or at least I would hope.
Yeah, I feel like every time we're on the road, the weather's been absolutely fantastic, and when we come back home, it's cloudy and raining. So, but yeah, no, every trip to the beach is nice, and nice to get some wins.
Good deal. What about injury-wise? Everybody healthy right now and doing okay?
Yeah, for the most part. I think, anytime you have a pitcher who, takes one right back and anytime you see somebody get hit in the head like that, it hit him kind of right above that right ear, pretty flush. It was a 90-mile-an-hour line drive in Game 1 of Sunday's doubleheader, but, thankfully, he walked off the field under his own power and a
couple more inches the other way, though. Could have been ugly.
Yeah.
Because, if he's throwing it 90, it's probably coming back at him over 100, wouldn't you think, off the bat?
Well, it was 90 was the exit velocity off the bat.
Oh, was it the exit velocity off the bat? Dang.
Which is hard, but, it could have been even harder.
Yeah.
But, he went down and initially, he just sort of laid there for a second, so you're thinking the worst, but he he started moving, and he's with the team in Pensacola, and just going through all the concussion protocol, and it's the worst nightmare if you're a pitcher to get a quick comebacker like that. So, but at least he's recovering, and hopefully we'll be back out there soon.
Yeah. Not to I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but disparage him, I guess. But was he in position to make a play? Because a lot of these pitchers terribly overthrow, and they're not in a position to take a line drive coming at him. Is he one of those pitchers?
I mean,
or was he pretty squared up to the ball?
I mean, he was as squared up as you can be. A ball hit like that back at you, there's just no chance.
There's not much you can do. Wow, that's gotta be that's scary, no doubt. I mean, I've never been drilled on the pitcher's mound, but I got drilled on third base one time, and holy smoke! Yeah. And that was at high school level. I can't imagine, basically major league hitting it at you at that speed. So, kind of speaking about that, because I was watching a little bit of college baseball last night. What do you have any thoughts on aluminum bats at that level? Just out of the blue.
I think it's. A lot of times it's more of a financial thing. I think probably if you look at the big Division I think they could probably handle going to wooden bats because the wooden bats aren't as expensive. You just go through a lot of them throughout the year because you're breaking a lot. They've done a good job to deaden the bats a little bit, but I don't know.
There's some shots that come off them things. Oh, woo.
Yeah. It's amazing how it used to be before.
Yes.
They lowered the thresholds for the inches to the weight and everything like that, and the type of aluminum. But I don't know. It's going to come off the bat hard either way. I think for development purposes, it might be honestly good for big time Division I to go to wooden bats, but to get it more uniform, I don't know.
Yeah, and I've always wondered that. Like, you're playing, say, at collegiate level, say just 2 years before you get drafted maybe or go pro. And I don't know what they're doing in the off season, but, here you've played a whole college season with aluminum bat. Now you've got to hit with a wooden bat. There's got to be some sort of an adjustment, I would think.
Yeah, and what a lot of those, big time players, a lot of players play the college wood bat leagues, whether it's the Northwest League or whether it's the Cape Cod, or
cool.
A lot of those showcase events and things like that. But it's a transition. If a player hasn't used a wooden bat before, it's a lot of times it's a big adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point because most of these kids go through high school. I played with a wood bat, but most of my friends played with aluminum. And then, like you said, if you go to the college level, you're aluminum. So, yeah, there's several years there. You're swinging metal versus wood. I hadn't really thought about that long of an ordeal, but makes a difference for sure.
Well, you're talking about pitchers, and this is about a week old, but, you brought on another pitcher here in the last week.
Yeah, we've just brought on 4 in the last 2 weeks or so that have big league experience. The Angels signed a left-hander in Sean Poppin. He joined us last week, and then also Jordan Holloway. Both guys have pretty significant time in the big leagues. And then Jose Quintana, who has been up with the Angels the last several years and some time with the Marlins. And then the guy who started for us last night, Jesus Cruz, who played for the Atlanta Braves most recently in 22, and then made his big league debut with the Cardinals. So I don't necessarily know the strategy of having, I think right now we have 7 players, 6 pitchers that have big league time that are in that 28 to 32 range. But it's interesting to see that on a Double-A team. That's not typical, but it gives you some experience and obviously some guys who can help out the younger guys too.
Oh, absolutely. So they're part of the team. They're not there to rehab. None of them are there to rehab or anything. They're on the staff, right? Pitching.
Yeah, there's no.
Okay.
Quintana pitched in spring training. He pitched 8 games in spring with the Angels, and then he was shut down. Really not sure exactly why. He didn't pitch well in spring training. He'd been a part of that relief portion of the staff for the last couple of years. But I don't know if they just shut him down to kind of work on some things, and now he's here. But yeah, none of those guys are on rehabs. They're just on the staff.
Good deal. So, well, man, we always enjoy your time, Chris. We appreciate it, especially when you're on the road like that. I know it's not always easy. You'd probably rather be at the beach right now instead of talking to us. So,
who says I'm not?
No, well, there we go. Yeah, it could be. Tell all the young ladies Todd the boss said hello. But y'all have safe travels, man. Good luck the next 2 ball games, and hope y'all can win the series, no doubt.
All right, man. Have a good rest of your morning.
You too, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. All right. Bye. That was Chris Harris, Trash Pandas broadcaster and media relations director. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Bart Stephenson, former ladies softball coach at Calhoun, and now the new Calhoun flag football coach. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080.
When it comes to the Wi-Fi in your home, are you in control? Manage your Wi-Fi with the ATC Control app. ATC can help you get the best Wi-Fi experience. Prioritize your laptop while you work from home, or prioritize your streaming devices to enjoy your favorite shows. Ready for a better Wi-Fi experience? Visit ATC's website at www.ardmore.net to download the free ATC Control app today. Certain equipment and/or services may be required. ATC is an equal opportunity employer and provider.
What is community? I'm a First National Bank Student Advisory Board member, and I am alone from Tanner High School. And to me, community is supporting those who connect us. First National Bank proudly supports our neighbors, businesses, schools, and organizations that make Limestone County a great place to live and work. First National Bank, making communities great. Member FDIC.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens. Your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action Sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clements sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net.
Hi, this is Sherman Williams, former running back for the University of Alabama and the Dallas Cowboys. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080. Todd the Talent Tomerlin, joined alongside producers extraordinaire Tim Lambert, now being joined with us, the new Calhoun flag football coach and former girls softball coach at Calhoun, Bart Stephenson. Coach, man, how you doing? And thanks for being with us.
I'm doing great. Thank y'all for having me.
So congratulations on the new gig, and congratulations on a good softball season. Before we jump into the football, let's talk about softball and your 6 years there, and a lot of fun. A lot of success.
Well, yeah, I think we had a good year this year. 3 out of 5. We made the conference tournament. Good kids came through the program, and I just hope they learn something from us, and as much as we learn from them.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they did. I mean, you're a good man, a good coach, and your staff was good, and you make it fun. And, it's work. They work hard, but I think it's one of those deals. You're just one of those unique coaches that has such a good relationship with your players that they want to work hard for you.
Well, it was a lot of fun, and it is a grind, and it wears on you. And, for being a student athlete like they are, I know it's tough, but, the road is long. And if somebody, once you get out there and you try it, you understand, So this point in my career, I think it's a good move for me and my family.
And people don't realize, I know they realize you're not flying first class, but when y'all are going on road trips and stuff, it's not like some luxury trip or whatever. I remember years ago, we played Jeff State. I played tennis briefly at Calhoun. And we get there the night before our match, and I don't know if they told us, we forgot, but I don't think because all of us were surprised. We ended up sleeping on wrestling mats in the gym floor.
Been there, done that.
you know, because there just wasn't money for that kind of stuff back then, especially for tennis. But so anyway, but congratulations on a successful career there for the softball, and
thank you.
And congratulations on the new gig with the football.
Well, the school has been good to me, and I feel blessed to be a part of it.
Man, so. You're a blessing to them, and that's why they want you there, regardless of what you're coaching. And so you mentioned that you'd coached off air that you'd coached flag football at Livingston back when in the 90s.
It was back in the 90s. We had an intramural program, but we also ran the flag football, and it was a lot of fun back then, and also it was 7-on-7.
Okay, so like it is now. Okay.
And we went on to compete at a high level at Ole Miss, and for the Southeastern my last year there, and did really well. And you look back and you wonder, well, what took it so long to get here?
Yeah. And now it's exploding.
It's exploding. NFL's behind it.
Yes,
they're helping sponsor this. I saw. They're sponsoring 3 high school teams, local high school teams. So, for them to back it, it's got to be something to it. And also, it is the fastest growing sport, not only in the United States, but in the world.
It's just, it's amazing that it's blown up like that. I mean, that would have been one of the things. I know back when, like bowling and fishing and those kind of sports, even esports, that kind of stuff came into high school level. I don't remember flag football even being discussed, back when all those sports were coming in, and gives the young ladies another opportunity, not just to play athletics, but play something fun, and then now it's at the junior college level and beyond, so they can advance their academic career by playing flag football.
Flag football, and you know as well as I do, football in the state of Alabama, how important it is.
And we don't care if it's flag, helmet, whatever. We're in Alabama. We're gonna love it.
Yeah.
I could do with a little tackling, but hey,
you'll probably see some.
You probably will, whether it's intentional or not. Yeah. So, have y'all even had tryouts yet? Do you have a team in place?
We had a small tryout. I have one May the 31st. We have an open tryout. I have 10 signees already. We get 15.
Okay.
So June the 25th is our prospect camp. I know Athens, some Tanner, some of the local schools are starting flag football.
Yeah.
So we hope to get some of those kids out, maybe the juniors, 10th graders, as well as the 9th graders. But I'm going to try to have this team filled by the middle of June.
Okay. And you're going to carry 15.
Well, 15, and also if they play softball, they can play flag football. So we're trying to work out the kinks on that, if the scholarship's going to count towards both. But now I have 3 kids that are also going to be playing softball.
How do the seasons line up? Like, when is flag football?
We'll start practice around August the 11th. We'll open up September 18th at the Crampton
So it's a fall sport, okay.
It is a fall sport, and we'll go to November. 16 games this year.
Wow.
4 home, 4 away. We'll be crossing over with the South teams. And then also we're looking forward to, we'll be in Montgomery twice, at the new field in Birmingham, and also Kansas City, Missouri. We're scheduled. Hopefully, it's going to go through to play at the Arrowhead Stadium.
Okay.
So that might
That's
be
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So do you? Is it like football maybe traditionally is as far as high school goes? You play each team once, or are you?
What we're going to do when we
or
cross over with our South teams, we'll probably do a 3-way. But yes, when we play the North teams, we'll do a double.
Okay.
Header. I don't want we're just 2 games.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll go play them at their place. But now when we go, our ACCC commissioner's putting on the event at Montgomery. So we don't know who we're playing, but it's going to be 2 games down there. So we try not to play no more than 2 games a day.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know you played multiple games a day. I just thought it was like.
It makes sense to travel, travel like that.
And games normally they're going to last an hour, 12-minute quarters. So
it's not a running clock though, is it?
The last 2 minutes of each half. If we do, that's the rules we're trying to figure out this week. If we do the NFL rules, we can run a running clock until the last 2 minutes of each half.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, I didn't know Tanner was adding a team. I knew you got a
Paige Castro on sign, and I'd heard him mention that they were starting up on there. So, I don't want to start something. But anyway,
well, I knew she didn't play flag football at Tanner, but then I knew she played basketball and softball too, I guess. But soccer, yeah. But then we had Coach from Athens,
Smith.
Their new flag, but good grief. Used to be basketball coach at Athens. Anyway, he was talking about basketball players seem like they make the transition well to flag football.
Well, we're hunting athletes, and with the local schools not participating in it as much right now, we went out and signed some track stars.
Yeah,
girls that can just run, girls that are athletes, and like in any sport, you're going to teach them how you want them to do things. So we're starting from scratch, but we're not alone.
That was State Stafford, by the way. Thanks, Coach Wales.
Yeah. Good grief.
Good grief. Sorry, Coach Stafford. That's a good point. Like you're coming out of the gate with, new program, so you can coach them up any way you want to coach them and how you want to coach them and work them as hard as you want to work them, and they, they'll just have to acclimate. So with not that many schools having local teams yet, and y'all are having to go out, I know we've talked to y'all before, and a lot of the housing is off campus. I mean, are y'all going to have a place for them to house, stay local? I mean, if they're out of state?
Yeah, we do have dorms downtown now that we share with Athens State. It is a application process they have to go through. A lot of our girls team up, pair up, and they'll have apartments in Decatur, maybe at a place there in Madison that normally all the other athletes stay at. So, that's an obstacle that we're still trying to.
You got to bring the cabanas back, man.
Don't need them.
How to have them.
Pup tents or something.
Heck yeah.
No, we're going after local kids too. I do have a couple from Florida coming up, Talladega, so we are
that's awesome,
expanding.
Man. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, whoever would have thought that you'd had to make a recruiting trip to Florida or have somebody come in from Florida for flag football?
It's big.
I mean, it's just Florida. Blown up, like you said. It's amazing.
Think about the Super Bowl. Every other commercial is flag football.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can flip over there, especially on Sundays on ESPN on any given Sunday, and you're probably going to see women's flag football being played for sure.
You said former softball coach. How long did you know that this was going to be your last time?
We all, when things are getting near, I guess, I was going to try to do one more, and then when flag football come available, the time and effort, I'm one of those guys, if I'm going to do something, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I didn't want to neglect one sport because of another too, and we are a fall sport, and also softball we had a fall season.
Yeah,
that'd have been brutal.
That would have been tough, and the recruiting process.
Yeah,
it was just one of those things where they opened it up for me to do it full time, and they know that I really appreciate that. To me, there again, it's a blessing for this point in my career just to be able to do that. And also, I'm going to be taking another position with the school, so it's worked out.
Okay.
Good
me.
for you, man.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
is AJ stepping in to do softball?
No, I think so. I think he's enjoying the
I'm sure he is.
spending more time with his family.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I guess that process has started.
We're probably it's one of those things where the new position I'm applying for, how.
Yeah. Administrative stuff.
It's administrative stuff. We're hoping to have someone in by July.
Okay.
For softball, but we had a great year, and I was real pleased with everything that went down.
I mean, you sound conflicted though. Like like you wanted to be there, but man, like you said, boy, that road gets rough. It does, and we're not getting younger, so it gets harder. We're not as young as the athletes are that you're coaching. So
anytime you can go out on a high note, and I thought
take it right.
That just added to it with this year being a good year that we had.
All right, say it'd been reversed. Say the season might not have been so good.
Probably been there next year.
That's because you're competitive, man, and I get that. What are you looking forward to the most with this new venture?
The newness,
just the newness of it,
and just being the first time ever. That's one of our recruiting things that we're, telling these kids. You're going to be on the first.
Yeah, that's a big
flag
deal.
Football
big
team.
deal.
Yeah. Who's to say in 20 years from now they bring y'all back and hey, this is the first.
Y'all started it.
So I think it's just like buying a new vehicle. You wash it every day and everything, and then it's one of those. It's just exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
now. Already got the field laid out and everything.
We're going to be playing at Jack Allen, and that's another thing over.
That's turf, right?
Yeah. Well, we do have one turf, and then I think there's 4.
Okay.
Grass fields.
Are y'all gonna play? Just depending on the weather, y'all gonna play grass? Or?
No, we'll probably mix it up.
Mix it up. Okay.
Our practice field's gonna be on campus.
Okay.
So if you look at it in that sense, we have probably one of the better football fields in the state.
That's sweet.
Being at Jack Allen.
Well, what's your preference?
I like grass, you know, and just softball too. I still
that's
like
what it was meant to be
dirt,
played on, it just was.
And for safety too, I think the grass is good, but if it rains, hey, let's go over and play on turf.
Yeah. It's nice to have that opportunity to be able to do that, no doubt.
Well, now, how as far as the teams that you're going to be playing, how long have they been doing it?
Exactly. That was going to be my next question.
So, you're talking about
how many years have
we're all starting.
Everybody's new. Oh, okay.
We're new this
Wow.
year. We have 8 teams in the state of Alabama that are doing it by next year. The commissioner has spoken and said that hopefully we'll have everyone in the state of Alabama participating in flag football.
That'd be amazing.
So that's going to be.
So that's good. Everybody's on a level ground.
Yeah.
Starting out right fresh.
And who's to say this first team, won't make it into the NJCAA?
Exactly.
So.
Well, there will be at the end where we will be in a tournament. He's going to host a tournament down there in Dothan.
Yeah.
Actually, Dothan has a flag football complex. So
wow.
Yeah.
Man, okay. They are taking it serious.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Huh.
That's good. So, have you even thought about the strategy of the game obviously is totally different. It's 7-on-7.
It is. What's
your philosophy? I'm just going to ask this off the bat. Some teams rush the quarterback, some do not.
Yeah. We will. What's complicated about it is when you have 2 rushers off the edge. We have to have a intermediate route plus a short game. So everything I'm drawing up right now has a check down, to the short, quick game. But defensively, I think we'll be mostly in zone with a 1 rusher. We might have a robber spying the quarterback. It's just there's so many things you can do. But I think man-to-man's probably the simplest to teach. We'll have 3 weeks of practice before we play.
That's not much.
Or a month. So to put all that in, by the end of the year, I think, we might have our cover 3s and cover 0s and all that in. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's no 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi rushing.
You just come when you want to.
And I've been in football. I think I did it for 17 years at the high school level. So it's, it's different.
It's definitely going to be different, for sure.
You get out and you start drawing up these plays, and then all of a sudden you think, well, crap, we don't have 4 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah, get rid of it. But anyway.
Do you have a quarterback in mind or one in place yet?
We don't know until they get there. I have one coming from Verbena to our tryout, and I'm getting good reports on her. So
okay.
Speed also at that position is critical.
Yeah, it's very critical.
And
you got to be able to get away from the rush and have arm,
we can run the ball, so I've been thinking about options, so who knows.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man, no doubt.
It is. Y'all need to come out.
Oh, no, yeah. We'll have to do show from out there one game or so. That would be so much fun. So
yeah. Well, now I know you can watch the baseball and softball games. Will you be able to? I don't guess you have that set up because
we don't have
on
it
campus
set up yet, but I'm sure we're governed this year just by ACCC. Once we get governed by NJC, I'm sure everything's going to have to be videoed, so we're going to have to address that. But yeah, there again, if it takes off, I wouldn't be surprised if you see it more places other than live stream.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, Coach, man, congratulations on a good, long, successful softball career, and congratulations on a new flag football career. We're going to be following you and keeping up with you. We'll definitely have you back on. Can't wait to see what all this turns out to be. It's going to be exciting for you and obviously the young ladies that are coming into play, and can't wait to see how it goes, man.
Well, I appreciate y'all again.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, man, and we'll have you back on soon. That was Coach Bart Stephenson, new Calhoun flag football coach. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the new girls Ardmore basketball coach, Bryant Wales, joining us. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080.
If you have a question, comment, or idea for Tailgate Talk, you can email it to tailgatetalk@hotmail.com. Remember, you can always call or text us during the show at 256-812-1848. We'll be right back with more of Applebee's Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC. P4 Therapy is an outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. Now that you've got that new place on the water, BP Riverworks can finish the picture with a boathouse, dock, or seawall. Call Barron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks, licensed and insured, 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097.
For screen printing, sign printing, banners, logo design, and more, look no further than That Shirt Printing Place. Located at 709 North Jefferson Street in Athens. Call 256-444-1827. That Shirt Printing Place. Visit them online at thatshirtprintingplacellc.com. Look for them on Facebook too. That Shirt Printing Place. 256-444-1927. That Shirt Printing Place.
Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Wreakin' Havoc Podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at wreakinhavoc.com.
Hey, this is East Limestone girls basketball coach Jessica Thompson, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080. Todd, the talent Donovan, and alongside producer extraordinary Tim Lambert. Now being joined with us, the new Ardmore girls varsity basketball coach, Coach Bryant Wales. Man, congratulations, buddy.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you having me on today.
Talking off air, and I thought this was your first head varsity coach experience, so exciting for you. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, Tim, I talked to Coach Story last night, the Elmont girls basketball coach, and we were talking about your new position. And he's like, you might as well tell Bryant not even to bother to show up. Don't even cross the line. Don't even come over here. He said he's going to wear y'all out and send you home. I don't know. That's between you and Coach Story.
All right. I'll have to put it in my back pocket again.
Oh, you know I'm fibbing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Todd the instigator.
Coach Story would be killing me if he's listening right now. Don't be giving him no bulletin board material.
He's texted me since I got the job.
Yeah, he's excited for you.
Congratulated him.
He told me probably a week ago, if not longer, I don't know, that he expected you to get the job, and he was excited for you. So, and maybe even a little worried because he knows, So, congratulations. So we were talking off air. You got tryouts coming up, right?
We had them this past week.
Okay. And so if you got You had with those numbers, you probably didn't have to make any cuts, did you?
No, not any at all.
Yeah.
No cuts. For the varsity and JV group, it was all. We had one new person come out.
Wow.
And there was a move in that we had. So everybody else has been in the program already.
Well, that part's
so.
good.
I know them. They know me.
Yeah.
I sort of say you probably had.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
Everybody on our varsity team, I have I will have coached aside from the one that moved in.
Yeah.
So
I mean, moving forward, or I assume JV and middle school will do, what the varsity do, right?
Oh yeah,
it's the offense we run, it's the defense we run, what have you. So, now who's the middle school coach?
Right now it's Tim Jones. He's coached him for the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
May or may not pull him up to JV, just depending on.
Okay. So
just
that's what I was going to ask.
How things shake out.
If they even replaced.
We don't have a JV coach yet.
Okay.
At the moment, so just working on trying to get that spot filled.
Yeah. And I'm sure they will. So what are you excited most about? I mean, it's different. It's a little. I mean, you're used to it. You've grown up in it.
Yeah.
It's not like this is something new that's going to blow you out of the water because you're experienced.
Yeah.
But still, first varsity head coaching gig.
I think what I'm most excited about is just, I tell people all the time, and I told the administration even before this, came open, that I just want to see if I can do it. I just want to see if I got what it takes. And so
I don't see why you would.
I think that's what I'm most excited about, just that challenge part of it. But also just, to see how our girls keep developing.
Yeah.
I think we have a good group of athletes. They're all great girls, so just excited to see how they respond to the challenges that I'm going to face them with.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and at least they're already accustomed to it, too, right? Because you've had them. How many girls do you have coming up from JV last year? And we were talking off air. Y'all won, 3 out of the 4 last JV county championships?
Yeah, we've won 3 in a row.
So 3 in a row. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, they're used to success. They're going to continue that success.
Yeah.
How many girls will you have off that team, you think?
So, off my last year's team...
You don't have to name names. Just
I've got... it's around 5. But as far as out of the 12 that are on the varsity roster, I think 10 of the 12 have played on one of the JV championship teams for me. So that gives us some not varsity experience winning, but just you got to learn to win somewhere.
Yeah.
And
and they've already been at that one level.
And we won the middle school county championship last year as well. So
there we go.
Those freshmen coming up, they know kind of how to win.
Yeah. They know the work that it takes to get to that.
I'll say this about the JV championships. I'm not trying to take anything away from what we've done, but we've been at a point at Ardmore where we don't have to move 9th graders, 8th graders up to the varsity level.
That's great.
Where some schools that we play in the county, that they've had to play their younger girls on the varsity
just to have enough.
So, if you take those players on the county and play them all in JV, it would have been some really competitive JV basketball the last couple of years.
We'll give you some words of encouragement here from Coach Clint Legg. He's listening. Great dude, great coach. Love him. He will do awesome things.
Yeah,
I wrote back, yes, he will. So
love Coach Legg. That's one of my dudes.
Yeah, he brags on you all the time, and all of us are excited for you.
I appreciate it.
Your family's synonymous with this area and coaching and all. Your dad. Obviously wonderful coach, so we're just excited for you. Do you like? This is one thing I found with Coach Story. I grew up with him, and he coached at the varsity level boys, and that's where he came up was through the boys. I've never seen him more excited to coach in his life than he is with this Elmont girls team.
Yeah.
Was that an adjustment for you to go to the girls' side of the game? It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. They're a lot more coachable, probably.
So that's the thing is with girls, and it's not that boys aren't coachable, but I know how I was a high school player. And Coach Garth Garris, he was my coach, and I know at times he would tell me to do stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Like, I know something better to do. So boys are like that, right?
Boys, you're exactly right. Girls are just like, yes, sir.
Yeah, and as far as girls go, they will, if they believe in you and they know that you have a genuine care about them, they will do whatever it takes to try to.
Yeah, they'll bust it for you.
To do what you're asking of them.
Yeah.
And that's what I like the most about the girls is this group of girls, especially. Like, I have a good relationship with all of them.
That's great.
And I feel like, as things are right now.
Yeah.
Whatever I ask them to do, they'll run through a brick wall to try to get it done.
Now, y'all gonna y'all have any? Which I know obviously you ain't much time to do much, but I mean, are y'all gonna do any summer team camps?
Yeah. So this summer we're gonna go. The first week of June we're going to Athens and East Limestone on a Tuesday and a Thursday. We're planning some play dates there. The next week we're going to I think it's Coleman. The Coleman basketball complex they have down there.
Yeah, it's nice.
We'll be at Danville and Cornersville High School up in Tennessee. And then the following week, we'll go to UNA on a Monday.
Nice.
And we'll finish up with the team camp at Jacksonville State.
Okay, so that's full summer there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's something that should have always been a thing. You know, it wasn't a thing for years. So I'm glad y'all have the opportunity to do that. Are you going to have enough girls to be able to show up? I mean, because, you don't have strength in numbers. But, I mean,
I think,
and people are busy, right? Vacations, jobs, or whatever. But, I mean, do you feel like you'll have enough to participate and everything?
I think they'll be there. I told them, obviously, I don't want them to plan a vacation every week of June, right? But at the same time, like, I get it.
Yeah.
You've been playing, most of our girls at least play 2 sports.
Yeah.
So it's a long year.
Need a break.
I get they need a break. I need a break too.
Everybody does.
So,
absolutely.
Go on your vacations, but when you're here, let's work.
Yeah.
And
work hard.
But like I said, they're excited about it. They've been looking forward to the summer, so I'm anxious to get in there and get going.
Are you gonna stick with what you've done offensively, defensively? You gonna change anything? You think?
Yeah. So I mean, plan to just stick with what I've been doing in JV, and it's what we were doing at the varsity level too. We might add a couple things here or there, but as far as the floor spacing part of it, that's all going to be the same.
Okay, that's great.
Terminology.
That way, the learning, and that's important too. The terminology and everything, so there won't be that big learning curve there to learn new anything. Yeah. So that'll be good. Be a smooth transition.
It will be. It should be.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, they'll be older, so they can. If you want to add some more wrinkles, then they'll be able to take that stuff on.
And we've got a large junior class, so I've got, of the 12 on the varsity roster, 9 of them are junior.
Oh, wow.
And 3 are seniors.
Yeah.
So that junior group is just, it's very rare that you see when they're a senior class to have 9 on a basketball senior.
No doubt, man.
So that group is strong. And the 3 seniors, they're just a small class, but they're very strong as well for the 3 of them.
Yeah. That's exciting, though, to have those 9 juniors. Now, of course, when they are seniors, that year should be very special.
Yeah.
But,
and they've been playing together since they were
little. So they know they know each other.
They've been together forever.
Wow. Yes, that has potential to be a very special year for sure.
So have you posted your roster online yet?
I have not yet. I was going to get around to it this weekend.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I've posted at the school, but it has not made its way online.
Okay.
Yet.
Okay.
So they know who's on the team if y'all want to ask.
Yeah, I had.
Or whatever.
Okay. Well, who are you seniors coming up then?
Yeah, so my seniors are Lexi Gray, Kylie Osborne, and Kaylee Reniger. And so for Lexi Gray, this will be her 3rd year on varsity. No, 4th, excuse me. She played for me on JV as an 8th grader. And then she's been on varsity ever since she was a freshman.
Okay.
And then Kaylee and Kylie, they played for me as 8th and 9th graders, and they've been on varsity since their their sophomore year.
Oh wow! So experienced then,
yes.
No doubt.
Did Coach Taylor mention Lexi is one of her players too?
I thought so. Yeah.
Okay, so
Lexi Gray,
I thought
she's a basketball only player.
Is she okay?
Okay.
I thought he said Lexi. He could have been a different one, or I could be. Yeah. Well, that's
our
good,
brains
though,
are
that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Especially just with basketball.
Yep.
And especially, I guess I have a hard time sometimes wrapping around the fact Ardmore's 5A.
Yes.
I still think of the days when it was just 1 through 4A, and we were all 2A. But I still in my mind it's like a smaller school.
Yeah.
And obviously, even though you're a 5A school, y'all have to share athletes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just to have teams.
And that was one of the big things in the interview process, and I'm sure it was the same way for Coach Taylor. Was how do you plan to support multi-sport athletes? How do you plan to work with the other coaches?
Yeah.
And I feel really good about the coaches we have on the girls' side of things. Myself, Coach Taylor, and then Whitney King.
Good.
She's been awesome for Ardmore. I'm glad to have her, and I think Coach Taylor's going to be an awesome addition too.
But it's tough. I mean, when you're having to share athletes like that, especially if the sports run concurrent and anything, or bleed into, you know,
Oh, yeah.
the playoffs bleed into your sport. You know, like, you know, it's just volleyball.
Yep.
Playoffs, and now you've got 2 or 3 out there playing volleyball, and it can just mess up a beginning of a season. So
yeah, that's the thing, is the beginning of the season can be a little shaky.
Yeah.
But you know, I would never discourage a kid from playing a sport in school. You know, I played all 3 sports in high school.
I think it's healthy.
I'll never forget my junior year. Coach Garrett's going to attest to this. We played in the second round of the football playoffs on a Friday night and got put out. Came in and practiced on Saturday and Sunday and played on Monday.
Yeah.
It's just what it was.
Yeah. What it was. Well, I can remember I would go to spring football practice and then go to baseball.
Yeah.
You know, and play a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on certain days. And I hated that too, but I mean, you know, back then.
Yeah, we try not to do that anymore. Like,
yeah, I know.
if you're still in a sport, you're with that sport.
But you know, back then that's just what you had to do. Like I said, to have teams or whatever. But you know, like you said, you don't want to discourage any child or kid from playing multiple sports. I think it keeps them in shape, and you know, I've always, though, not questioned it, but just wondered, like, you know, Coach Taylor brought up, you know, the fact about being in the weight room and all that, and each sport requires different muscles.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like you know, but some of it's just volleyball, basketball. That kind of coincides, right? Probably more so in boys' sports, you know, like football, baseball, basketball. You know, you use the same muscles, but you're using them in a different way. But like, do you encourage weight room?
Oh yeah,
for basketball.
That was another thing in the whole interview process was, how do you plan to incorporate the weight room into your season and everything? And so that's just something that Coach Ball has really pushed. I say Coach Ball, he's Mr. Ball now, our principal, he really wants to see our girls athletes in the weight room.
Yeah.
Not only during the off season, but during season too. And it's because we have so many that play multiple sports. You know, if we work out all summer, but then they never go back into the weight room.
Exactly.
Well, then, you know, that all that was for naught.
Yeah, for nothing.
And how hard is it to coordinate all these?
Yeah.
You know, because are all teams in the weight room all year long? I mean, can they do that? Or
yeah. So the way our scheduling works out is, you know, our boys athletics have first period.
Okay.
And girls have last period.
Okay.
So the way that I think it's going to go for us is the out of season sports will work out together in the off season on certain days, and then other days of the week, you know, we'll split up and go basketball, volleyball, basketball, softball, however that goes. But for the summer, we're all going to be in the weight room at the same time.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That makes it competitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and it creates, you know,
a bond,
a culture and a bond for the girls athletes. You know, that we're not just softball players. We're not just basketball.
We're all
players.
in this, all this together.
We're Ardmore girls athletes.
Yeah, I love that, man. Mm-hmm. That's a good deal.
Because, like you said, we're a 5A school, but it's a small town.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know,
the small town feel, the community is really tight knit, and I mean, we all got to support each other and be there for each other.
Man, when we were in school, and I'm sure they do not make. They probably make something similar, but I'm telling you, this thing was called the leaper.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the leaper. And we wore that thing out. I wore that thing out. It was just a hydraulic thing. You just put your shoulders up under it. And you
load the weights on the sides.
Well, I don't even remember if there was weights involved. I think you just changed the tension on the hydraulics. Yep. I mean, this is 1980-something days, so it's before you were born. But anyway, I'm telling you, man, that thing made us I could touch the rim. I'm 5'5" white boy.
Yeah.
And I could touch the rim. And just those kind of, I mean, and it did. That's what made the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, man, Coach Drake would just make us wear that thing out. We would. We had our schedule. You were in there for your 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Next one up, so on and so on. But anyway, so I love to see people get in the weight room. And like you said, it is a year-long deal, because if you do it just during the summer and then you're not maintaining it, what kind of wasted it?
And that's the thing, you know, I think Coach Taylor had a great answer that Coach Ball revealed at our Meet the Coach thing the other day. Is, you know, Coach Ball asked, what was culture to us, and how do you plan to implement your culture? And Coach Taylor's answer was, well, your culture starts in the weight room.
That's perfect.
And I thought that was a great answer by her.
That's where it starts. Mm-hmm. You're right. You got to have strength and speed and agility and all that good stuff to go with. Well, I don't care what sport you're playing.
And for our female athletes at Ardmore, too, like, so you have Coach Taylor, that was a college athlete.
Yeah.
Coach King's a college athlete. So female athletes at that. So they've been in the weight room at the college level. So that's almost like a cheat code for our girls if they'll buy into it.
That's a great point. And I think they'll buy into it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been around them long enough to know that they'll do what they have to do.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little bit hard. It's going to be a little bit tough, but
be worth it all in the end.
Yeah, anything worth having is
for sure.
Clint said they quit making leapers in 1982
because I broke it. Broke that thing. Busted that hydraulics. That's right. Well, man, team, you got any more questions? All right.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, man, we appreciate you being here. We're just excited for you, proud of you, and proud for you. And congratulations on the new gig. We know you're going to do big things. And
I appreciate it.
It's going to be interesting to see what you and Coach Story battle, the Ardmore Elkmont, rivalry. And, obviously, Coach Story's like a brother to me, but, I consider you a friend. And obviously, love your family. And so that's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch y'all.
That's the fun part of coaching too. Is you make these relationships with opposing coaches, and you just have fun competing against them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all right. Well, buddy, we'll definitely have you back on. Good luck during the summer.
I appreciate it, man.
Team camps and all the play dates go well, and girls buy into everything that y'all want them to do. I'm sure they will.
I hope so.
And
looking forward to it. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, man. That was Coach Bryant Wales, the new Ardmore girls head basketball coach. When we come back, we'll be joined by the new Clements boys basketball coach, Ron Rikard. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
What is community? I am First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Hadley Madison from East Limestone High School. And to me, community is supporting those who connect us. First National Bank proudly supports our neighbors, businesses, schools, and organizations that make Limestone County a great place to live and to work. First National Bank, making communities great. Member FDIC.
Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with the Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC.
This is Tyree Washington, 400-meter world champion in track and field, former NFL player, and you are listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080. Todd, the talent Tomberlin, alongside producer extraordinaire. Being joined now with us is Ron Rikard, the new Clements boys head basketball coach. Coach, congratulations, man, on the new job.
Man, I appreciate it a lot.
Now, I'm going to have to be honest. Are you from this area? Did you grow up here? I should probably know, but
a little bit about me. I graduated from East Lawrence High School back in 1998. Stayed in Lawrence County for about 15 to 18 years of my career, and then went to Morgan County for a year, and this is my first year in Limestone County.
All right, well, congratulations. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a change, but still basketball's basketball, you know?
Oh, there you go. My daughter, my son played on the varsity boys team last year, and I was the assistant coach for Clements.
Oh,
and,
you're acclimated to it then, yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. My daughter's in 9th grade. She plays volleyball, softball, and all 3 sports and basketball at Clements High School, and she's going in her 10th grade year. So that's sort of really what got us going over here. Coach Brad Newton's the coach of the girls team, sort of really familiar with him, and so that's sort of one of the moves we sort of made for our family to be a part of the Clements community last year.
Wow. So you're gonna be a busy man with all that going on.
Well, that's the way we live our life. I got a 21-year-old, and then my middle kid's graduating this year, and then the 15-year-old girl, and we've spent just years of cross country, AAU basketball, volleyball, travel baseball. This is what we did, and people always tell me, man, you can miss this running around one day. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
I wouldn't think so either. I mean, there might be a brief period where you don't know what to do with yourselves because you're not running around crazy. But, yeah, once you're used to it, you're going to be like, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it.
No doubt. So, being the new coach, obviously there's probably things that you'll do differently than what was done before. Or are you going to kind of keep everything that was kind of, offensively, defensively minded?
Well, the good thing, we actually had our varsity boys tryout yesterday. And, one thing that last year, I hate putting stuff in a box like this, but probably more of a, sort of offensive-minded sort of team mindset last year. And, this year it's going to be just defense. Just seeing the kids already buying in, you just got to, we got to get up in people. You know what I mean? We got to we got to dive on every loose ball, charges. I was the kind of athlete, not very athletic. So how did I, get playing time? And, then get my starting position. It was just, just hustle, drawing the charges, jumping on the floors, those kinds of things. And I think that's one of them things we were sort of missing a lot last year. And so trying to get that through to the boys already, and just seeing after, just an hour and a half, just really emphasizing and see them getting into it. It makes for an exciting brand of basketball on the defensive end for them.
Absolutely, man. I love that approach because, like you said, there's just so many. First of all, you're diving on the floor for a ball. Maybe you knock it out of bounds. Maybe you don't. Either way, you might save a possession. But, man, now your whole team's fired up, right? Because this, your teammates just giving all this effort to try to keep the ball, in a possession, or taking that charge, which you never see a charge hardly anymore. It's amazing. At any level, pros on down.
I agree. And see, I'll call my son a pretty boy basketball player. He's the one graduating. He's 18. He probably jacked up, I'm going to say 150, 200 threes last year. When you dove for a ball at him, he's jumping back, wanting to protect them, not trying to hurt nobody, protecting them knees, not wanting to be hit, And you see that with a lot of the kids today. When you get someone out there getting down and, with it, a lot of people don't want no part of that. And that's got to be, our identity.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. And you're exactly right. Teams do not want to play teams that get after you, especially if they're up in on you defensively. You're just being scrappy. And you're, like you said, you're diving on the floor for balls. You're taking charges, and it just it helps you offensively. Those are, you're getting steals. You're getting turnovers, and it just creates a really good game to watch and play.
And that's why we're open. But now I will say the funny part of it, I've been sort of pushing on cross country on the kids who's not playing football. And after yesterday, I had a couple of them text me like, yeah, Coach, I think we are going to need that cross country.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you could just do like Coach Drake did me back in about 9th or 10th grade, whatever grade I was in. He just came to me one night and said, you're running cross country. I said, no, I ain't. He said, I didn't ask you. Be out there tomorrow. He just threw me out there because they needed another runner, and why he chose somebody 5'5" with short legs, I have no idea. But I guess he knew.
Well, our varsity coach did us the same way. I was a big center, and guess what? I had to run cross country because I didn't play football.
Oh man, yep, that's one way to do it. But yeah, and why not? Keeps you in shape during the off season and everything else. Keeps them legs strong. Cross country's brutal. Anybody that hadn't done it, y'all can have it. I'm telling you, I hated it.
Yeah. Well, it helped my son a lot. His junior year, he decided, just going up and down the court. And I know people will say basketball and cross country is two different types of shapes, and it's correct. But you just really saw a different stamina after doing the cross country. So that even made me more of a proponent of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. When my daughter, well, all my kids ran cross country, but my daughter played on a club soccer team for a couple of years, and they were like, Kaylee, you can run forever. And I was like, well, if you girls would have run cross country, you could too.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Good point.
And I've always admired people that actually like, hey, I'm gonna go out for cross country. Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, you nut.
Yeah.
But so thank goodness there are people that want to run and can run. And, it's fun to watch. It's just not fun for me to participate in.
Which even got me a little more. A lot of the people in the state's familiar with Stanley Johnson. He's big on the cross country stuff out there at Lawrence County High School. I don't even know how many state championships now, 10 or 15. But
wow.
My first coaching gig was being his assistant varsity coach. I get my years confused, probably going back 17, 18 years ago. And so just sort of seeing that part of it with him probably has always stayed in the back of my mind also.
I'm sure.
So talking about coaching other sports, I mean, Clements is a 3A school. Are you going to be helping out in any other sport besides basketball?
And that's always, I've had experience. Some people's familiar with Denton Bowling, coached softball down in Hatton, won him a state championship. I had the opportunity to coach some actually baseball with him when he was at Lawrence County High School and things like that. You get into that thing where my daughter plays all varsity sports, and so volleyball goes on when football does. And right now, Coach Leggs doing a really good job of assembling a lot of coaches where a lot of times you almost sort of got to do it. But I would never say baseball or softball would be out of the question for me. Or honestly, if the cross country, ever come open at our school, a few little sports like that I could see could help our basketball players and help the cross country. So, just that's sort of Coach Legg and Coach Ryan, and they know I'm open to it.
Yeah.
When was the lift-a-thon the other night? Was that just for football, or of course I guess a lot of the football players would play basketball too, but was it just for football?
Well, right now that's the first thing. You talked about the way things are going to be different. I don't know. You see Coach Pugh and you see the conditioning of his body, and so the first thing I did when I became the boys' basketball coach, I texted him and said, "Hey, I need to meet with you the next morning." I'm like, "Coach, don't get me wrong. I know basics of weightlifting. My daughter actually got me up at 7 o'clock this morning and had me in the gym working out with her and the Planet Fitness down the road from us. But, I was like, Coach, how can we come together? Because, if we want to get all our, athletes at Clements lifting as much as possible, the majority of them play football. And, man, Coach P was like, yeah, let's do it, man. So, and that's really going to help us. The football boys are coming at 6:30, and he's probably going to have to run 2 groups. So at 7:30, he's going to lift mine with his. But, that's the thing. I'm going to be a part of it in there. It ain't going to be me dropping my kids off on us up in there together, me encouraging football, him encouraging basketball. And I think that's what it's all about, man.
That is awesome. And Coach Wales was on here earlier, and we had Coach Taylor, the new volleyball coach at Ardmore, and Coach Wales being the new girls basketball coach. And he was talking about the weight room and how that's kind of the way they do it. They kind of share it and intertwine the sports. So, it kind of creates a climate for all the athletes to be together, and creates that, I guess, more of a kinship amongst all of them.
I agree most definitely. And then I think that's the number one thing it does, but I'll say it's also the number 2 thing. When you're at a school, and I hate to use the word can't get together, but we all know there's this, then you're multi-sport athletes. I hate to use the word, they're being punished because they're up here from 8 to 10 from this sport, 10 to 12 this sport, 12 to 2 or 3 this sport. And it's like the summers is harder than the school years if you're not at a school that can, work together and say, hey, we'll do basketball Tuesday and Thursday, volleyball come in Monday, Wednesday, and we'll lift all the girls' weights. That way their sort of time at school is, maybe 4 hours instead of doing 6 to 7 hours. So it's really good when you get schools like that working together too.
Yeah, no doubt. So you said 6:30 in the morning?
The football will start lifting at 6:30, and so the basketball come in at 7:30. And what happens is the football boys will go from 6:30 to 8:30, and then I bring the basketball boys in after football from 8:30. And all of us coaches, how it is. We'd love to stand there 2 hours and put our offense in, defense in, fundamental once. But we also got to be mindful of the athletes. So we'll probably go basketball 8:30 to 9:45. About an hour and 15. Those kids are getting out, 10 o'clock. We want them to enjoy their summer also.
Yeah. And, you get a lot of work done. If it's organized and they know what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to be doing it, you can knock it out, in that short amount of time.
I agree.
Yeah, and like you said, you don't want to burn them out because then they're not going to. Even though you can keep them there 3 hours, but if they're not really willing to work, it's a waste of everybody's time.
Well, and we both run into coaches like that. I'm a firm believer most of the time. I'm not putting the time on it, but if I can't get done when I need to get done, hour and 30, hour and 40 minutes, again, when you're organized, you're breaking in your stations, and you've got a game. I don't know many kids that get much after that, to be honest with you.
Well, good deal.
Did we ask about play dates and things like that?
Not yet.
Okay.
Are you got play dates and stuff lined up for the summer?
Yeah, probably another, Clements, if you really look at it, I'm the third basketball coach within a calendar year, just the way, everything happened. And I think one thing, and probably a lot of small schools, a lot of times we don't have as many coaches as we need at some places. So a lot of times, we play paper, rock, scissors, who's going to get the middle school this year. And a lot of times if it's someone who really don't want to do it, they try their best. It's their second or third sport. So that's one difference you're really going to see this summer, especially in next summer. I'm going to be heavily involved with our middle school stuff, sort of conducting practices, not no dictator. We got coaches and stuff, but sort of just really trying to set the foundation. Number one, it shows these kids that, hey, we're going to have a little consistency here for a while and just sort of show them the way we want to do things. So we're going to have our middle school's going to have 3 play dates, or JV's going to have 3 play dates, and our varsity 3 play dates. So that's one thing that's probably a little bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know that I've heard of many middle schools or JVs doing that. So good for you. That's a good idea.
Well, y'all know the way we do it, and I think coaches, and I'm a little bit older, we get in the habit of this. Football, we ain't got no one that can block, or basketball. We ain't got no one who can dribble. We ain't got no one who can pitch. And, at the end of the day, we can do that stuff. But, if I'm here at Clements for the next 3 or 4 years and we ain't got no one who can dribble, or we ain't got no one who can shoot, who's that's a reflection on? That's not the kids. That's the coach. And that's one thing I take a lot of ownership on. And I'm just a believer, if I can't teach kids to dribble and can't help kids with their shooting at the end of the day, and where does it need to start, is as young as I can catch them. And so that's the idea behind that. And I told my players yesterday at Trout, I said, guys, my daughter plays 3 sports. I'm going to be up here all summer long. So, we'll do our June like everybody else. But I was like, July, every single day I'm going to text y'all, hey, I'm going to be here from 9 to 11. You want to work? I'm going to be here from 1 to 4 if you want to work, And when we say this generation of kids don't want to work like we did back in the day, but, back in the day, our coaches gave us keys to the gym, or we could pull the back door and get in. These kids can't do that. So, they need us to go up there and help them out with this stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I grew up the same way. We had a friend of mine had a key to Athens Bible School. And we would go in there, and then Coach Todd opened up Athens Gym. Coach Drake opened up East Limestone. I would ride my bicycle about 8 miles up to East Limestone to play, and then usually have to call somebody to come get me after it was over, because I wasn't riding 8 miles back. Sometimes I could do it. But anyway.
I'm going to sound like a 90-year-old. I'm from the days when we couldn't break in the gym. You carried a broom with you, where if it rained, you swept off the playground.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we had to do stuff. We was out in the country a little more than y'all, so we had to do stuff like that sometimes.
Many a time. I can remember, listen, I'd go out there and knock ice off the net, and ice off the concrete, and be out there shooting. I love just being out there shooting a basketball.
And you know what? I think our kids do too. And, don't get me wrong, they got the cell phones and they got more freedom than we probably had on certain things. But I still think if you tell the kids, hey, we're opening this gym, I'm just a believer that the things be flooded. Like I told them, I'm going to let y'all have some fun, play games. But I'm like, if you come in here, I'm working that tail for 15, 20, 30 minutes on ball handling, shooting, you might as well be ready for it.
Yeah, like you said, while you're up there, you got to be. And now, back in the day, all that stuff kind of wasn't allowed. But every now and then, Coach Todd might would, organize, for the lack of a better word. Like all of a sudden, the county kids were all on one team, and all of his players on another. When we looked up, and that was fine. We didn't care. We were up there playing basketball. But, but so that's a luxury to be able to have that opportunity to work with the kids during the summer, no doubt. And I love the fact that you're using the middle school and the JV to have those play dates. Was that even hard? Was that hard for you to organize? Were there enough other teams out there, middle school and JV, willing to do the same?
Yeah, they got it so organized. There's a local coach, sort of Paul Wilson. A lot of people know of him. He sort of does a lot of the summer stuff, and so like multiple gyms. I hate to compare it sort of like a TVBA kind of thing, but I mean, it's almost organized. There's games Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and he's got it on the website. You click your link, and
nice.
Now the downside sometimes, 3A Clements is going to get matched up, and I think he does a pretty good job of this. But it might be one of them things where you're playing, Decatur High School, but sometimes that's good for our kids to see too, and say, look how this 14-year-old can do this, and this.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you got to get to. So sometimes it can be a learning experience too.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good thing sometimes to play up, and in that, even though going in, you might realize you're probably going to get smoked by 20, but at the same time, you might hang in there with them too, and it shows that how much you've improved or how much that you are able to play the game. But either way, you're going to learn something, whether you get beat 20 or win 20 by playing up like that. Yeah, you're definitely going to learn.
And that's how our schedule's going to be this year. Limestone County's, when you start going through it, where East made it to last year, Tanner made it to last year. I think Elkmont's returning the big guy. When you're just looking inside the county, and then you add our area to it. Old Black Taylor over there at Colbert County as a 9th grader was doing, phenomenal things. And I think on our schedule we got West Morgan, who made it to the Elite 8, Danville, a 4A school. So, our schedule's going to be tough, and the thing is, that's why we go, of course, we're looking to win every ball game, but compete, and understanding all this stuff was going to prepare us for, at the end of the day, what really counts, that area tournament. So that's what we're hoping this year's able to do for us.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, man, congratulations once again on your new coaching position. We'll be rooting for you, and we'll definitely have you back on many times during the season to see how everything's going and how you're doing. So, but anyway, congratulations, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Man, I appreciate y'all's time. Thank y'all, sirs.
All right. That was Ron Rikard, the new boys Clements basketball coach. Well, we've come to the end of another wonderful show. Tim, thanks for lining everything up, man. You've done a great job as always. And I'll see next week we'll be back here at Applebee's. So we'll be back home, and probably for our last show of the year, correct? 2 more. So we got 2 more of these wonderful shows left, so you're not going to want to miss them. So for myself, Todd, the Bod, the Talent, Tomerlin, and producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert, thanks for joining us. You've been listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080.
You've been listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, live from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill on Highway 72 East in Athens, just off I-65. You can hear the archive of this and other shows online at tailgatetalk.net. Applebee's Tailgate Talk is a production of Play Action Sports on 1080 WKAC.